Joining me on the phone line is the president of the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, Rick Esenberg. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning.
How is Florida? I always ask you that question when I know you're down there.
It's very, very quiet. At least I have the sun to look at as I sit here and do very little.
Yeah. Well, we have 36 and sort of sunny, so I guess we had something to be happy about. I saw this comment that you made, and it has to do, and it's kind of a different angle on all of the closures. And you were talking about specifically in Madison, the order, Dane County's order, restricting gatherings of 50 people. And you said, at least the post that I saw, that it may be unconstitutional. Can you kind of walk us through that?
Well, I think that there's a constitutional overlay to all of this. The governor has broad emergency powers to order that certain things be done or not be done at a time like this. And so if you were to get out your statute book, you would, you'd read that, in, Chapter 252, that the governor has the ability to prohibit public gatherings in order to prevent the outbreak of disease. The governor has the authority to declare a public emergency, and once the governor does that, then the government can issue any order in order to protect the security or property of any person. But all of that authority has to be exercised in accordance with constitutional strictures. At this point, I believe that an order that limits gatherings of 50 or more people is probably going to be upheld by any court. There is a problem in the way that the order that the governor issued yesterday is structured, in that it treats churches less favorably than some other forms of organizations. Like, for example, you can have a public gathering under the governor's order in a library without restriction, but churches are treated less favorably. This then implicates the state's constitutional guarantee of freedom of worship. Is this being infringed? And it might be if, in fact, other forms of gathering are permitted while church gatherings are not.
Do you think that would be enforced, or somebody would say, look, we're being infringed on, I want to do something about it legally, or people understand? I guess that's the basic question.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that there are churches at this point that want to remain open or that want to gather, have gatherings of more than 50 at this point. I was talking to a family member yesterday who owns a restaurant about the implications for his business, and said, you can't. You got to limit your capacity to 50. And he said, well, we had 3 people for lunch yesterday, so it's pretty much an academic question. You
and I have been around for a long time, and we've seen a lot. Just from the worldliness perspective, this is somewhere we've never been before, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really difficult to compare this to anything. I mean, we've certainly had emergencies, we've had crises, but in all of those instances, people were able to come together in order to deal with whatever misfortune had befallen us or what threat we faced. This is a very, very odd situation in which we're still connected virtually, but it's going to be interesting to see how this isolation ultimately begins to affect people. I think it's irresponsible for people to speculate as to how long this is going to last, and I think we're going to have to play it by ear.
Interesting times. I want to thank you for joining me real quick on the constitutionality aspect of the story. I think it's important to people to kind of understand how this all shapes and lays out as we kind of go through all the unknowns here. So thanks for joining me from Florida. Rick Esenberg, Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. Thanks, Rick.